large enough. Thank you for coming. I hope today you all go home with more than what you came with. And thank you all that came from a long distance just to see me or be with me. Maybe you didn't trust me. I want to thank the pastor and his parishioners here for allowing us to have the church once again. We certainly give thanks for that. Perhaps in the very near future, we will have our own establishment that's large enough to accommodate those that are curious about being saved. There's one thing about myself, we never stand still. We don't have an establishment today, come back and look at us tomorrow. We don't stand still, we most certainly continue to grow. How many of you all are here for the first time or first time seeing me or hear me on tape or whatever? Very good. You all came from the advertisements or what you've seen on TV or the flyers? Was it the flyers? Because usually we pass out a couple of million flyers, 2 people come. Well, today I wanted to speak about how did the ministers and mother do before I got here. I didn't need to. I don't know exactly what was said. I don't want to go over things that's already been said. However, I do want to bring our attention to family the way it should be. And I don't mean because of blood. In the creation, the first order that Allah did after just including himself or including more than himself was family. He wanted to see himself reproduced. If it was even in fractions, which it had to be, he wanted to see himself reproduced and do what he was doing. Now, what he was doing was creating and making things that was in agreement with what he did and how he thought. Today, we don't do that. Although we may be in the same family and have the same last name, or we say as being black people, but we're not family because of the way we think. We're not familiar with what we have really done in the past that makes us human. And this is why it's written in the lessons, and it's talked about in the lessons that were given to the Muslims, that it's supposed to be a human family of the planet Earth. Evidently, we've had another family that has been operating and has not been human. And we can bear witness to that because just about in every household there's division. Almost so that most people that live together can't really stand each other. You'd rather be at your friend's house. You know, so if you argue with each other, whatnot, the friend don't really know everything you do, but if you live with your family, then you go to argue. They know what you do, what you think, how you do things, so they got the scoop on you. So you'd rather go live with somebody else that don't really know, and you can halfway hide some of the things you're doing. However, the real family, the God's family, or the Creator's family, don't do anything in secret. We don't do anything to hide anything. Everything we do it in the open. Because we have the power to back up whatever we do. We don't have to hide. In that sense, that means everyone has to be doing or performing truth or what's right. Would you agree? Well, I'm going to attempt to explain it the way that I see it. You know, it's a hard task for me today to explain my existence and why. Because you're here at this particular time, and I'm here with you. You know, from the amount of years that you've been here, how much you know or how much you don't know. So if I look to be the same age as you, or a little older or a little younger, you're wondering, well, how could I know as much or more than you? It looks like we're the same. However, I've been awake. I've been able to see myself before I came in the flesh. I've been able to see you before you came in the flesh. It's my duty to acquaint yourself with yourself. However, Allah is always first. If I did it in a mysterious way, then you might get to thinking that you are God. or that you are above everyone else. When you know that someone is before you or first, it makes you humble. You are not the first. It doesn't mean that the first is greater. However, when you know someone is before you or they're ahead of you, you've got to know that there's got to be something that they know or should know that you don't know. Is that right? Well, in the beginning, the Creator that created all of this material that you see, and the thought pattern, and the different people, most of the people he made, he always did everything for an express purpose that would bring it to an end, or to meet his ends for why he did it. After he created himself, and I hope you listen, after he created himself and made himself flesh, made flesh for himself, and he seen how he had did it, it took a long time. It took a long time for him to self-create just himself, number one. And even today, if you're going to do anything according to the number system, if you're going to produce a 1, you got to at least go through 10,000 fractions just to get to the 1. In other words, it can't stand, no fraction can stand on its own as the truth. It can only stand as a fraction of the truth. If you just got one fraction, it is neither true nor a lie. It's just a fraction. So it must be a multiplication of them, at least 10,000 before it can unite to be 1. And we deal with that in the numbers from 0 to 9. Those are your 10,000. Now, after the Creator did this and made for himself a body, it took a long time after he calculated how long it would take. If it would take him that long to make another, it would be very possible that he would become lonely. Are you listening? So what he did, he went into his mind and came up with a way of bringing forth man or something just like himself, just from the power of saying be. Since everything that existed he made, it has to answer to him. So when he put in his mind what he wanted to be, after he says what he wants and then say be, then everything that it takes to make that be, it starts to go into motion, to come together, to please to God. And then when it gathers itself together, now most of you ain't heard this, some of you have. Do we have any Christians here? We got some Christians. Very good. I'm going to open up the floor shortly so you can ask me questions. However, if I am God, I got to tell you what happened from the beginning, so you will know what family really is. Most of us start from 6,000 years ago. According to history, that's not 1 second. That's not even a second according to time in history in Allah's creation. Now after he did this and said be, it had to come from the materials that he was standing on or living in, which we call today in this particular planet Earth. So when he called forth for it to come, he summons it from the earth itself, and it came up out of the ground just like a tree grows up. And this is where they get, and after it came up, he breathed the breath of life into it. Meaning that, not that he breathed in his nostrils, he automatically made it breathing. It was a breathing creature. However, it was also an ignorant creature until he breathed the breath of life into it. That means he put into it the knowledge of what he wanted to be done and for it to duplicate what he does. You know, much like I'm doing with you. What I'm speaking with you about is things that you haven't heard. And when you go to try to prove it wrong, this is your nature at this time because you're under the nature of the man of sin. You always look for what's wrong. You don't look for what's right. But since I am the God, I don't mind you doing that because you're going to find right every time you look. You're not going to find wrong. You may find something that you don't understand, but keep breathing. It's my duty to make sure you do understand. All you have to do is put forth a little effort to think. To think. Not to be led or told. Just think. And this is what this one did when the God breathed the breath of life into him. He started to reproduce himself like the God had ordered him to do or taught him to do. And in doing so, when the breath of life was breathed into him, or God imparted into him, his brain, what he had in his, what he imparted was how to do things, how to do what he does. This means this person is an extremely wise person. You can't say he's the God, but he's a God. The only reason why he isn't the, because he wasn't first. So he's copying or patterning after the original God, or the original master of him. So he's familiar with everything that the Creator is doing or has done. This went on for approximately something like 6 trillion years. Are you listening? 6 trillion years. There were no such thing. There were no such thing as a female. We had no knowledge of a female. When you are operating in the power of creating, there is no need for another being. There is no need for another person to help bring you about. You don't have children by birth at that time. You bring it about by creating. You summon it. Say, be, and it is. You don't have to go and appropriate to make a child and then wait 9 months for it to be born. So in the course of this, I hope you're listening, for all of these trillions of years, the family was together. However, there was always something that was giving a suggestion to the God and those that he had brought along with him or made like him to do something that was contrary to what they knew is right. And since this thing was new to the Creator, he didn't know what it was, because he didn't create it. Everything that he created answered to him without any hesitation. Well, where did this whisper come from? Where did this rebelliousness of his ideas come from? Like you all do today. You're so steeped in rebelliousness, when you do hear truth, the first thing come up in your mind is to go against it. And the second thing comes up, why? Because everybody else won't accept it. So you justify yourself as why you shouldn't do right. Well, just turn it around. In the beginning, this comes up, it comes to the guy, why should I do that? Because it's not right. So it wasn't done. Although the nagging from this Satan or from this other power was there. But we were so tightly united as a family, no one would do it. Until the God decided, the original Allah decided, and I hope you listen. Nobody else tells this and nobody else teaches this because they don't know it. You can't even make this up. If it wasn't true, if this isn't true, and I'm making it up, I should be over there in Hollywood writing scripts. Now, since the God, the Creator, is somewhat concerned about this, he decided to withdraw himself for a period of time to see if this thing would manifest itself. Is there another God in this universe? The one that I made, is there one that I don't know? I'm searching for him, but he won't answer when I go to call for him. What's producing this is not coming from me. Where is it? Why won't it show itself? And all of the ones that is with the God is saying the same thing. So the God says, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to back up for a while. I'm not going to have the supreme power here. You run this planet. I'm going to watch from a distance. And whatever you need that you don't have, I will empower you with it. Are you listening? He's talking now to other gods, or one that he would leave in charge in his absence. All before that, wasn't nobody, no one in charge. They all were doing right, so there wasn't no need for a one outstanding one. Now, since he's still young in the development of the possibilities of his thought, when he was there, he was the one. In his absence, it wasn't a one, because the knowledge was equal. Are you listening? It's much like you pour water into a glass or container. If you pour it in the container, the water is going to level itself off. You're not going to see no high point or low point. It's level. It's equal. Is that right? Well, that's the way it was in his absence. Or when he left, that's the way it was. Then he started to make one to answer to him that would be above the rest. However, he kept withdrawing himself after he did that. Now follow what I'm saying. After he made somewhat, in your language, what the world may say, a big I, he started to withdraw himself. Now this gave rise to this unseen force to speak to the one now that is the bigger I. Are you following? It gets to the point where this I wants everybody to submit to him. He almost forgets about the original creator because he knows he's not going to return. Not just yet. So in doing so, since the others would not adhere to him the way he thought it should have been, he decided that he would take everybody out. Now, this is happening because now he's listening more and more to this unseen force. It's much like you got a house and you got a light in it, but you can brighten it or turn it up or down. When the God is there, the light is bright. There can't be anything hidden. When he leaves, it's like you start turning the light down. You're turning it down. And the more you turn it down, and the more you allow darkness to come in, the more things can be done in the dark. The more it gives rise to you to find out what happened. If the light was bright, you don't never have to find out what's happening. It's happening in front of your face. You see it. This is much like we are now. Everybody wants to know, who is God? Where is he? Is he a white man? Is he a black man? Is he a man? If the light was always bright, why you got to wonder? It's because the light has been turned off. And everything that has been done in the dark has left you in the dark. You can identify nothing. So when the light starts coming back on, the things that you are seeing is so far-fetched from your memory and your mind and your thinking as to how it should be, you can't identify nothing that you see. Then when you look in the mirror and you see yourself, you can't even identify you. Now the light comes in and says, black man, you're the God. Now if you think that I'm saying other than truth, go to the library and the enemy of you will tell you that in so many words mathematically. We can't find your birth record, black man. Well, we know ours. Well, what you do? Nope. Because since you've been in the dark, you can't identify nothing. You look at yourself, no, it can't be me. I got to take it with what's written in the Bible. In the Bible, how old is the Bible? 500-some years old? As opposed to trillions of years old? That's why they say Islam is math, and math is Islam. If you use the formula that don't lie to you, then the answer that it renders to you will be the truth. You will use it, look at it, and then deny it. Because the man that was given the permission to do harm to you hasn't accepted it in a way that it brings life, so you go along with the way he says it. And there's nothing you can point to, not nothing, you can point to in the way of him using a math that will bring you life or that even expresses it. Everything the way he uses it has a friction in it. And even if you got some good food that he made, you love it, keep eating it. You're going to go waiting here. You're going to get fat, have a heart attack, and die. However, if the light was on continuously, and you see what it is, know what it is, you know what to stay from, you know what to eliminate, you know what to eradicate, you know what to keep, you know what to multiply, you know what to do with what it is. But you are people now. I'm on the scene. We raised up a man named Elijah, and before he come here and said his name was Elijah, it was in the book. Behold, before that great and dreadful day of the Lord, I will send you the prophet Elijah called him by name. And little Elijah came forth. Allah, in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, raised him up to give us a message to make ready for the God when he comes. A message can't save you. It can only show you it's like coming to Los Angeles. I'm looking at the map. It's saying take 10 west from 15. Stay on that and you run right into Los Angeles. That's the sign. Well, just because I see the sign, that don't mean I'm in Los Angeles. I got to go on where the sign directs me traveling until I reap the reward of what the sign is telling me or showing me. Elijah was here 40-some years in labor. The book called him a daily sacrifice, daily. Because you made him sacrifice. You ignored him. You didn't accept it. Most of y'all now that are sitting here are young, they didn't come under the message. However, your parents gave birth to you and they kept their mouth closed about it. Much like Pharaoh said, don't pronounce the name of Moses no more. Strike his name for every pylon, every tablet. So when we took Elijah, just to test the ones that said that they loved him, we took him and sent his son to test it. And he's in agreement with this government, the enemy of the black man. So now when you mention Elijah, it's almost like a nasty taste in your mouth. And those that do know anything about him, what you say, he taught hate. But you haven't studied his teaching. If you really studied it, you can't say he taught hate, he taught truth. However, if you put it into the right language and in the right mathematical formula to you is how you saying it, you're saying that he's teaching something that you don't like. Now we're still talking about family. In order for us to get back as being what we should be, you cannot be what you are supposed to be without the formula from the Creator and from the creation. You can't be that. If we are the Creator, if we made everything that we see, even our enemy, we made him. We didn't make the force that fuels him. However, we did make him. The open enemy, we made him. And this isn't hate teaching. This is something you need to know. Because the day is here. I'm not going to be teaching this very long. Like the first Allah whispered into the ear, or spoke into the ear of that he summoned. He placed into him what he had in himself and left. So I shouldn't have to just keep whispering in your ear over and over and over the same thing. And while I'm talking to you and telling you and showing you and teaching you, you can very well visibly see something is wrong according to how this civilization is respecting God. They don't have no respect for him. So since they don't have no respect for me, the earth is crying to me. Not the people. However, the earth is saying, how long I got to take this? I'm trying to grow the herbs to heal the illnesses that these people have brought on us. But you are taking it and then still robbing the people without letting them know what's the illness and this is the herb that the earth is grown to heal. You know, you take it and sell it to them at a high price. So most of them can't get it. So the earth is saying, how long, God? You God, how long? And don't say the earth is not a living, breathing entity. If it wasn't, you couldn't be here. You can't take dead material. You can be dead in the mind. However, the material got to be alive. So you can't take dead material and put knowledge in it and make it be alive. Are you listening? We got to get back to being family. And you're not going to have no excuse today because the God that is God is here showing you how. I'm not going to make you successful in Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., Miami, Florida, San Diego, San Francisco, just make you successful in your home. No. As one individual. No. You're going to have to accept this as a unit. This is why I have to have a place for you to be family, and then we come and magnify that. And while you're not in that place and you're coming into the knowledge, you act as though you should act as though you're either an uncle, a cousin, a nephew, so that you can get the thing started where you are, germinate where you are. But we're not going to just make this whole just from a lot of different fractions. We're starting in one place. It's called Kansas City, Kansas. It's in the center of the country. What you should do, since everybody can't go right now, if you are listening to what I'm saying and you understand it, if you don't understand it today, get the tape, go home and listen to it so understanding can come. What you do from that point, you start supporting this. Not to argue about how much knowledge you got, how much knowledge I got, and God's going to come and do it, whether I do anything or not, it's going to be done. This is true. But where are you going to be found? The judgment day is not coming. It's already here. Most of us think that God's going to come down, float out of the sky, and presto whammo, bam. Things all over with. It has never, never, never. You can't point no place where that ever happened. Never. And you'll never find where he blew his nostril and parted no Red Sea. If you read it in the Bible, go find it in history. You read about Moses in the Bible, go try to find it in history. You're not going to find it. The story is put in the Bible there to make sure, to show you what is going to happen just before the coming of God. Because God wants his family back. He wants his family back. Now, I'm not the original Allah. I'm one that knows how to get his family back for him without him being constantly insulted. But God don't have the patience that I have, the original God, because he's used it up. Over trillions of years, he's got to the end of it. So a new God has showed up that has patience to get his family back. What is the duty of a civilized man? What? Teach the knowledge and wisdom of the human family of the planet Earth. Is that right? So it looks like we got to do some breathing in someone's ears. And it's got to be the family. I can't go, it would be futile for me to go and teach somebody else that's nowhere in the family, that has no way to relate to what's being said and expect them to respond properly. Is that right? You know, a lot of us come from, I know I speak to a lot of people that come out of South Carolina, out of the South, and they eat grits, and things of that nature. You can go to another part of the country and they don't know what you're talking about. Still black people, they don't know what you're talking about. So what I'm saying now, this new, like it reads in Revelation 21, no more tears, no more pain, no more. It's going to pass away. You won't know it no more. However, just before that happens, the God will come, the God, and walk with you, talk with you. These are human characteristics. Not float around with you, not be your spirit, but walk with you, talk with you, sup with you, meaning eat. He will be your God. You will be his people. Does not it read that? Well, we need to do what it takes for us to come back home. And to make sure that you're not just going to any place. You have the Father that has a place for you. So when you go home, you never hear it written when the prodigal son came back and said, well, I think I'll go to my mother's home. It's not written that way. He got up and said, wait a minute, hold up. My dad was a powerful man. I'm sure he still is. I'm catching hell here. It's not something that's not right. Ain't nothing right here. I'm going to arise and go back to my Father's house. You hear what I say? To the Father. Now, if I'm going to do the same thing for you to actually be saved from your own ignorance, you don't need to be saved from white people. You don't need to be there. You got more power than this. You got so much power that you say, look, I'm going to let you stomp on me for 6,000 years. Try all you possibly can try. You're not going to get rid of it. And at the end of that, I'm going to rise back up. And I'm going to take care of you. You might say, well, I don't know about that. It's written. You got 6 days to rule. And on the 7th day, I will come and put you to rest. No man since creation has done that or can do it. In the making of this man, every 200 years we come out with another man. The brown man, the yellow man, and then the Caucasian man. None of them can do this. Every one of them, when they got to be a distinct, pronounced people, we gave them boundaries. Here, this is your piece of land. This is your way you should live. This is your ethnicity. This is your, whatever it is of yours, this is yours. You will be all right if you don't leave these boundaries. All right, Mr. White Man, here is your boundary. It's called England. You're not to go no further than the end of this land. You can come out of the hills and caves, and as far as you're supposed to go is to the end of this land. Now, if you forget that, we're going to call the land England. Every time you pronounce it, it reminds you, stay in these borders. However, he said, yes, I would like to do that, but I'm a ruler. And a ruler is a curious man. And I got 6,000 years to do as I please. So I might stay in these borders. And if I decide to leave, well, I'll just decide to leave and I'll go. I'll take my chances. Well, we can see he left. He's over here now, where we sent him. After the 1,000 years of Islam keeping him in check. They say Prophet Muhammad of 1,400 years ago. 1,000 years, Islam kept Christianity in check. Well, we promised the man, we're going to keep you bound up for 1,000 years. And after that, we're going to let you go for a short while. And you can wreak havoc over the earth. So we kept him bound up for 1,000 years. We kept our promise to him. He couldn't get away. Then we relaxed it and allowed him to leave his checkpoint and come here where there was no Christianity or Islam. They ran into another man that rebelled. Been here 16,000 years. 10,000 years before we even made the Caucasian. You think about it. He didn't believe in no Christianity and didn't want no Islam. He wanted to be the wolf, the buffalo. Any spirit he could think of, that's what he wanted to be. Because in his mind, he saw everything to be free. I'm thinking about a Native American Indian here. Everything is supposed to be free. These things that I'm telling you or sharing with you is giving you some keys to let you know how things are done, why it happened. And if you add it up, maybe it'll be 10,000 fractions you come up with, you can come up with a definite one. So we allowed this man to come here, take the land, and then his prime person that he wanted to eat was this little lamb, the black man. So since none was here, so let's go get some. We know that these people over in Africa are scientists. These are people that know how to do most everything. Let's go get them and bring them here. Let's promise them something that they are familiar with. Let's promise them more of it than what they can get at home. However, what we're going to do is cause them to serve us and make us the head of the planet. Are you all listening? What I'm saying, you can't say it's a lie because it happened. We lived it, and we're living it. So now, here's the evidence that he brought us over here. I'm talking to you. And you don't have no power here. You spend all of your energy fighting him, and you never win. Even the most powerful of us, Martin Luther King, everybody loved him. Malcolm X, quite a few loved him. Didn't do nothing to this white man. He still goes over into whatever country he pleases and drop whatever disaster he wants on him. And you jump up now talking about how wrong it is, march, starve yourself. You still can't stop him. However, when have you seen him divert a storm? And you know the storm don't have no people involved in it, so he can't shoot nobody. When have you seen him stop an earthquake? And we are so merciful to him, we tell him, look man, you're living on a fault. I'm going to be taking it back very shortly. However, I'm going to do the same thing about the time of the end. I'm not going to tell you when I'm going to do it. I'm just telling you it's going to be done. So what does he do? He says, well, if that's the case, let's use this math and see how we can build a building that's earthquake proof. I'm not going no place, so let it shake. I might lose a couple of dishes, but we'll still be here. Tell me he's not doing it. You might say, well, I'm being dramatic. I'm not. To do what he's doing, he got to even be thinking more intense in the line of what I'm thinking about to do that. He can't be thinking in those lines of casually, because he's doing it. He's got to get the right material. He got to know what the earth is, how solid it is. He got to know how far to drive it. He got to know how to put every joint together. He got to know how to do all of that. So in his mind, he said it, and then he went forth and did it. So that's telling God to his face, well, I don't care what you're telling me. I ain't going no place. I'm staying right here. If you, God, will drive me off. And God said, okay. Then he's hoping. God knows that his people is here in Los Angeles. And he knows that I got them mentally. He knows there's some good people. Some good Christian people. They got some good soul. But I'm programming them every day as to how they should think. Even the ones that claim that they are militant. I'm with Mr. Whoever. We're going to get our guns and we're going to have war. And we're going to make this. We're going to take power. He just laugh at y'all. Because he got you too. Even those that is of his own kind. They go and get their militias together and what they're going to do to the government. They always end up losing. Man's still here. So he's programming you every day. So when I come forth to tell you, look, Elijah was here. He gave the message. Minister Farrakhan came along for the first 10 years. He resounded it. Now the real Son of Man is here. I'm not asking you to follow me. I'm telling you right now, it is time for you to support your base because you're going to need it. Now, if you're looking at me, the person, you're going to lose. Just like our open enemy, he didn't look at God as the person. He looked at what God can do. Then he said, well, let me use what God used to make a defense against God. So he used math to bring about us, put us in a miserable condition. Then he set himself up before us as though, here's the real God. Look what color I am. So you have him in my churches. Everything that would point you to being God, even to be militant. The reason why you're militant in your mind, he put that in your mind. Why would you fight for a people that have no knowledge before you give them knowledge? Why would you, if you're Muslim, and you say you love your people, you listening? You say you love your people, and you form a security force, and you allow the security force to go in other projects, other places of where your people are, to protect them against them. Because you sure ain't protecting them against white folks. Why you standing by the door and don't let nobody in? He's coming in through the tube. He's coming across the radio. He's coming across the CD. He's coming across the shortwave. Then when he walks up to the door, you standing like you can protect, he says, step aside, boy. You got to step aside. So why would you try to protect somebody before you teach him? What you're in sense doing is protecting the enemy. He just dressed up in your clothes. And don't tell me that's not true. What did Jesus say? The goat tried to dress up in sheep's clothing, make himself look like the sheep so God would take him. However, God was smarter than him. He said, let me look at your works. Let's see what's in your book. You look real good there, little lamb. What's your name? When he opened his mouth, that's not a lamb's voice. You know, like black people. If I say, well, look, we got this thing going, we don't operate with money. Everybody that's in the circle working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, continuously with me, don't handle money. Well, why is that, God? Because the very element of finance or money that way will take you back or keep you into prison. Because your mind is always on getting that, and anything else comes second. So since I am not influenced by that, I will handle the money because it don't influence me. So when you give me $10, I try to make it produce something that's $100 for you, not me. And the going after it, I don't go after money that way. I go after expressing truth and hope to magnify you or to attract you to what I'm doing. And if you got something, you sit and you give it towards that. Now, since when you get used to not using it, then you start to thinking of things that you never thought you could think of. Then you got a solid base coming in, because the base really is you. Any material thing that we get, even any system that we set up, it's got to come from your thinking. It ain't gonna just float out of the sky. And as long as you thinking money first, you'll never come up with that system. Never, never, never. So we got to get back to being family. I am the Father. I am the Father. Father means first and farther. In between first and farther, we place the mother, the sister, and then the little son. So they all got to come from father to the womb of the mother. And when the mother takes care of them, I don't care who it is, if it's a daughter or son, she takes care of them first. Then when they reach to a certain degree in their thinking, then she hands them back to the Father for him to take them farther. Is that right? What I'm teaching you about you, nobody's telling you that. The original God is not coming and teaching you this. And try it. If you think I'm telling you other than the truth, try to prove it wrong. When you find you can't, why don't you accept and do all within your thinking power to make sure that we magnify this. Like we are taught to pray from Elijah. For surely, Allah, thou art praised and magnified in thy midst. In thy midst. In thy midst, meaning that I'm here. Not praised and magnified in my absence. Because this power that has been whispering to you did everything he possibly could, not to magnify me, to demagnify me. In regards to how you thought of me, you always thought in a sense of mystery, because you could never come to nothing solid to say either it is or it isn't. Even if some of y'all do say, well, black man is God, we say, well, prove it. You can't prove it. You'll come up with your opinion, what you believe. That don't mean nothing. You know, I'm happy that those ones that have knowledge came to listen today and be with me. It's not very seldom I go places, a lot of people come out because they are of the thinking of the man of sin. They don't want no truth. If the truth is going to be done, they want it coming from a man. They want it coming from the government, where they don't have no hassle in receiving it. They want it legislated in. They want to vote it in. But at the same time, it has never happened, and you study jumping up and down because it hasn't. But you just support as much as the problem as the man that's making the problem. Elijah stayed here for 40 years. He taught over millions of black people in the course of 40 years. Are you listening? And most of the ones that were with him, 7 out of 10 went back to their slave master. So that's why it is written, you won't cheat me. It's written in prophecy that if it were not for the sake of the elect, that other 3%, that other 3 out of that 10, if it were not for them, none of you would be here. Would be no flesh left on the earth. I'm telling you the truth. You might say, well, you're just saying that. I am the God, so I got a right to say it. Because it is true. So you got to get back into knowing what belongs to you and why. And this way it will make you human. You will look alive again. I don't know if I look to you alive or not, but I am. Death thinking don't produce this what you see, or what we're doing. Thinking devilish don't produce this. I got to think and do right. If I'm constantly thinking right, there's no anywhere I can do wrong because I'm not thinking it. And if I'm constantly thinking right, I see you immediately coming with your wrong. So if I'm going to think right all the time, I can't accept your wrong. Unless you're saying, I don't know how to do anything else, I'm here as a baby for you, Father, to shape and mold me. I got to take you. And I got to take your stink until you grow large enough in your thinking that you don't produce no stink. Does that make sense? Well, I don't know how long y'all been here. I'm not going to hold up very much. Who has questions for me? Or well, we have mics here on the side. You all can start coming to the mic. I'm going to say this so we don't get too far off the point of this. In order for us to be the right family, to be in the right family, you're going to have to know the origin of the family. How many can tell me or deny that the origin of darkness is darkness? Or did darkness come from light? It could not have come from light. Is that right? So if darkness did not come from light, how did you get your color? Darkness has to be first. Because that's the way Allah created himself. It was total triple darkness. It was before him. Before he existed, it was darkness. How did you get to be black? How do you get to have this darkness? And after all these years, how come you haven't evolved out of it like they say that the Eskimos up in the North Pole has done? They used to be black. But being up there in the cold and the sun and everything, they turned white. That don't make no kind of sense. You think about this. Now, since you were first, Father, let's get busy and go further, black man. Let's go further than what we in this crap, this garbage that we in now. Would you agree? Well, I don't know if they're going to show a clip of what we're doing in Kansas or not. If they don't, I'm going to speak on it real quickly. We have in place a system that if you were to magnify it, is actually your salvation. We have a system set up for food, clothing, and shelter. And the possibilities to produce some of the things that you want other than that. Are you listening? So this means anyone else that would have in their heart or mind to deny you of those 3 things, if we make this base firm, it can only be something in their mind. They will never be successful. If you refuse to do it, and then when the final hour approaches, and the natural thing of nature kick in, that self-preservation, and the man that has starts to go into his self-preservation and kick you out, what you gonna do? You won't have to die from starvation. He's gonna kill you because you think you got a right to the food. You're in a public. This is a free country. You're gonna find out how free it is. You have the freedom now to prepare your base. If you don't, it's one going to be prepared. However, if you don't come and broaden it and make it strong enough to hold the weight, you know, it's much like you traveling over the road and you get to a bridge, they always got a weight limit there. 10-ton bridge. So you got to go over the 20-ton, you suffer to fall in. So if your base is weak and you think you're going to come and get on with us anyhow and bring everybody, no, sir, you're not going to do that. That's when you're going to find out I really am God. you be better going off with your enemy. For real. Because after having a man, it's like Elijah Muhammad was here, it's like a wife. He's taught the child for 40 years. And the child has ignored it. We took the wife, but we allowed the child to live. Now the child is out so spunky, he comes up and Dad's face. I don't care what you say. I didn't listen to Mom, and I ain't gonna listen to you. But you never seen the power of Father. That's not wise. That's not wise. It's best to check Dad out before you nut. Am I speaking truth? All right, well, it's time for us to be a family based on truth. Based on truth. That's why Master Farad Muhammad, not Allah, but Master Farad Muhammad, when he came, he said, I'm your nephew. You are my uncle. Black man, you are my father's brother. Now you got a second uncle, because my mother was Caucasian. So my mother's brother is your second uncle. He's white. So they told you about that in your lesson. Don't they? So you better latch on to the right uncle, the right family, and what makes him that family. Yes, sir. Is that understood? If not, get the tape, listen to it, study it, and if it rings true to your heart, even if you don't have the mindset at the time to understand if it's ringing true to your heart. I haven't threatened nobody. I just came across with the urgency of the time. There's no cry that you can put in my ear that's going to make me more merciful, and I'm going to accept wrong after I've said the truth to you. It's written. My people lose their life for the lack of knowledge after it was sent to them. Is that right? So this is all I'm trying to express to you. Check it out, search it out, and get busy. Time is at hand. I'm telling you, we don't have much time. Yes, sir.
Sir, my name is John Tomlinson. I come boldly from my God, Jesus Christ. I was asking, if you are God, what authenticates your deity, and how did it come to you as a revelatory understanding that you are deity?
Well, in the Bible, it speaks about the 20 and the 4 elders. And they're called elders because they're wise people. They have the knowledge of what was, what is, and what shall be. These are people that are living today. Most of us read the Bible and think all of the characters was, not is. And the one that would be Jesus Christ, but you can't see him. He is, and he's at the right hand of his Father, and he will be returned. But they forget everybody else. They forget Solomon. Jesus never did what Solomon did. He was never commissioned by God to do what Solomon did. It's like Solomon never existed. They forget the Son of Man. They forget Joshua. They forget it like it don't exist. All these people were supposed to have did that back in the day. There's never been a day that is more drastic and more urgent than today. So therefore, if that be true, and it is, it wouldn't be right for the Jesus Christ to have come 2,000 years back when it was more needed for him to be here today. Not in a sense where he's got to come in your heart. He's got to come to you. You know, Jesus said to his Father, thank you, Father, for not sharing this knowledge. The key word is knowledge. With the proven one. My people lose their life for the lack of knowledge. So there's got to be a system set up to show you, give you, and impart to you knowledge. Not a person. Not Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, or Jesus said, it's expedient that I go away. Because if I go away not, the Comforter cannot come. And when he does come, he will take you into all truth. All truth. Truth is knowledge. If it's not imparted through the science of knowledge, you can't get it. So therefore, don't look for a person if you're using math. Don't look for the person. Now, if the person is coming and he imparts the knowledge, then you can add the knowledge to the person and say that is him. Like the original God in the beginning, it was 10,000 fractions of himself in the sense of knowledge is like a thought. He produced 10,000 thoughts that you can't see physically because there was no eyes to see it. And when he produced that, he produced a single idea. And then the idea produced the physical. And then the physical bore witness that he had thoughts. So as long as you're looking for a live, living person and not the knowledge, you got it backwards. You have locked the barn after the horse is gone. So what has made me to know that I am, the 20 and the 4 elders do live. I have had 3 at one time come to visit me. 3 of the 12 of the majors come to visit me. They imparted to me as to who I am. Then they took me around the universe and showed me everything that is in creation. And they say, this is yours to correct. So I say, well, do I have that power? They smile and say, you have more than you can imagine. However, the main thing about this God thing is this. There's another force that exists other than him. God is a jealous God. He permitted it to grow, magnify itself, even use our people to help magnify it. Then he says, I'm going to let you do this, then I'm coming. I'm going to put you to rest. I'm going to take my people, and we're going to restore the earth to such a degree it's going to have to be called new. New heaven, new earth. And it's going to come from the wisdom of a man. And from that man having that kind of wisdom, the wisdom itself will bear witness that this is God. And I'm to make you just like me. So I can stop this thing about God. It's taking up too much time. It's diverting people's thinking. Forget God. However, you can't forget it until you've got to pay the proper respect to the number one. I'm the one man today. I am him. I am the Jesus Christ. I am your Jesus Christ. I'm the man that has the power to crush this other force. I'm the man to crystallize everything, all of these fractions into the one. I'm he. I'm your man.
I don't think you actually answered the question, when did you get this revelatory understanding that you were deity?
I'll say it again. The 24 sciences, there were those of them, or 24 elders that you read about in Revelation.
Right.
All right. They came to me personally, not in a dream, like it reads in the Bible that Solomon had a dream, and God visited him in his dream, and the Christ, or the okay, that's right. He's listening. But God asked me, what would you have me to do? What would you have me to give you, Solomon? And I said, well, you have made my father king, or he was king. Now you have made me king. Not that you have asked me to be king. You have made me king. So what I would ask of you, God, is that you give me knowledge and wisdom and understanding, that I may be a guide or a leader for your people that is so great. And God said, or the Lord said that, I love that question, that answer. I'm going to give you that. And to make sure that you get it right, I got some angels that's with me that's been almost as long as me. I'm going to send them to you. They're going to walk with you. They're going to talk with you. They're going to teach you. They're going to cause you to be yourself. In other words, they're not going to come and tell you that you God. What they impart with you, it will tell you. And when you try it and you test it, and I tried it and I tested it, I couldn't find nothing wrong. And every time I say, well, I'm God, but nobody believes this. Now, how am I to use this power, Lord? He said, just do your thing. Don't ask me. In the course of doing it, what you do going to show you. Because in your heart, you're a righteous man. You are he, the one. This is God telling me this. The original law. You remember I just said, I'm new. I am Allah, I'm new. This is why it reads, when you get to be 21 years old, you're a man. Revelation 21 is this new God, this lamb that's bringing in the new You're looking at him. So you and all of the family that is coming up out of this darkness in this room that you've been in all along, calling on me in ignorance but truth in your heart. Now the real form of knowledge stands before you that has been prepared. Not that I've made it myself. However, in the plan of God in his beginning, already summons this about me before the fleshly person of myself knew what value I am to the Creator. However, since he knew, he had to make it known to me. Not just by coming telling me. I could tell you, well, you're a scientist. If I tell you are, now you've got to do things, and what you do and how it fits with you will let you know if I told you the truth or not. So everything that they imparted to me, every mile of what the ship carried me around the universe and let me see, lets me bear witness that there's no God but Allah, and it is me. So my duty is not to go around and say, my chest out. I got to make sure that all of the ones that accepted the message, not necessarily the messenger, however the message, that I saved them. So I keep true to the book. Because they stuck to it, Daniel, go close the book up. It's sealed until the end of time. So now I'm back at the end of the time for it to be sealed. So everyone that was with the messenger wanted to be free, I'm breaking the seals. And how I'm doing it, knowledge breaks it. When you might not like it. However, if you say 1 + 1 is 2, you might not like it, but you cannot defeat it. So that's what I am. I am the truth. I don't have it. I am that. I am the Jesus means justice. I am the Christ, which means cluster or crystallize into the oneness. I'm the man. In other words, the people that we know of being the beloved of the original God, they have imparted to me, or they have secured what the original Allah told me. And I did have a dream one night. I did. It was so thick in the house. It was almost like you boiling water and the steam steams your house up or the room. I had my daughter that just spoke, and my son. I think I had 2 of my sons and a daughter in my house with me. I was going through this purification. You know, they didn't just come and tell me, I just stepped right out. I would like for it to have been that way, however it was. I mean, I had to go through something. I just spoke to my son back there a while ago. He was paralyzed for a while. Haven't seen him almost 15 or 20 years. And he was at the beginning of this. He knows. Well, now he tells me he's Christian. So when you go back into darkness, look what happens. So I still have to see this. If I'm ignorant, then I suffer. If I'm wise, I don't suffer. He's doing all the suffering, not me. So when that beloved, I'm there in my home. And the presence got to be so pronounced in the house that I told my daughter and the rest of them, I said, look, you all got to go home. Because their mother had them. They come to visit me once in a while. And it wasn't that they were 2 or 3 years old. I think at the time, how old were you? I think my mother was about but 18, 19 years old. They all felt it. They never said a word. Everybody got up. I carried them home and came back. I walked into the house. I saluted my house. Gave the greeting, Assalamu alaikum, because I knew somebody was there. I couldn't see him. I went to bed. I stayed up, tried to wait, try to use power, because I already knew I tried to use power to focus on him. Wasn't sure. It got heavier and heavier. I got real sleepy. So I went in the bedroom, laid across the bed, didn't even get in the cover, I just fell across the bed. I went into a deep sleep. Deep sleep. And then I had one of the most amazing dreams that one could ever have. This man walked up, saw me. I could only see him like you see me from here on up. Extremely handsome man. I mean, he was handsome. And I'm looking, and it was so powerful, it didn't seem like it was a dream. It looked like it was really real. Now, I'm not saying that this is what gave me the knowledge of knowing who I am. I'm just saying some of the steps that took place in this. You know, like making a cake, you got quite a few ingredients before you get the real thing. This is one of the ingredients. He never opened his mouth. He just looked at me and told me to open the door and let him in. I got up. He told me which door? The back door. I got up, went open the door. When I opened the door, he was standing there. As soon as I opened the door, boom, he came in. I turned around and looked to see where he was at. I didn't see him. I said, where'd he go? I ran back into the bedroom. I thought maybe he's in the bedroom waiting on me. I went back to look. I couldn't find him. But all of a sudden, I felt kind of good. What is this? I wasn't sleepy. I was all energized. I wanted to call and talk and tell somebody, but at the time, nobody would talk to me because I was crazy. Now, if I go to talk to somebody now, I'm really going to be crazy. So I got to sit here and sleep. So I'm still driving tractor trailer. I get up the next morning before time. Matter of fact, I didn't go back to bed. Went down and got the rig, cranked it up, looked at it, blessed it, took off. Seen a brother walking alongside the road. I said, that's a sign there. Let me hit the brakes. Slowed up. He got in. Sat in the seat. I said, where you going? He said, where you going? I said, I'm going to the East Coast. He said, well, I'll go with you. I said, that's one. So naturally, boy, I chewed his ear off all the way there. He never would tell me he was a scientist, but he didn't have to. I asked him, I said, I told him what took place with me. He said, yeah, we know. He said, for the next 3 weeks, it'll feel like he's not there. It's really the rest of you. It's really the rest of you that entered into you. And for the next 3 weeks, you won't know it because you're going to be going off into your own universe, getting ready for your return. Are you listening? So I'm listening to this brother telling me this. I said, wow, I'm going to be doing all that? I kept driving. And he kept telling me things. I let him off. This was a Monday. I made it from Chicago to the East Coast and back by that Wednesday. I went home, got back up. I couldn't sleep. I started walking. Went down to the pier off Lakeshore Drive. Is this boring? I stepped out on the pier, walked all the way out to the end of the pier. I want somebody to talk to. Everybody think I'm crazy. So a brother walking down the pier looked, I said, who is he? Because I'm looking at everybody now. Who is this company? So he walks up, he strikes up a average conversation. So I started talking to average along with him. And then I said, are you a scientist? He wouldn't answer either. So I said, I just had something real great happen to me a couple of days ago. He said, I know. He said, it's going to happen. He said, it happened into you last night. It wasn't in the same degree, but that's just to let you know it was real. The first night it happened. I don't know where the man came from. I said, what? He said, yes. I said, well, if I'm the God, does everything know I'm here? He said, yes. I said, what about this river? What about this lake? Lake Michigan, I'm standing over here. Does it know it's here? He said, yes. It knows you here, and it's alerting the other lakes to let them know, to start cleaning themselves up. Are you listening? It is alerting the other lakes to let them know to start cleaning themselves up. So I said, well, I'm going to try something. If they know, if this water know that I'm the God, I'm going to sit down here, put my feet over the rail, and the water's a good 5 feet down from that. I want the water to come up and brush my feet. So he just smiled. He didn't say, I sat down and put my feet over it. I sat there for about 5 minutes. I kept seeing the water, the waves coming in, get higher, get higher, get higher, and it came across with a loving touch and just washed me. And went on back down. I said, good, I'm the man. So these are things that was done for me to have it in my own mind. Because I was thinking that the scientists that carried me around the planet, I knew he was telling me that I am. But the things he was telling me and what they were doing, I was saying, I can't see myself ever doing that. These men is powerful. But they kept telling me, it's you. You see. And I see them. I don't mean to talk so long. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I also, the Islamic nation says Jesus was just a prophet. Yes, sir. And he claimed to be God. And the Jews authenticated that by wanting to stone him because of blasphemy. Well, my question to you is, if he claimed to be God, and he was authenticated by the Jews, in which he was a part of, as believing he was saying that he was God, why doesn't the Islamic nation authenticate him as God? And where does his Godship fall where you are, or are you him that came at that time?
No, sir. The one that came at that time, the fullness of that entity, like you say, you come on the earth over and over again. I think the Christians of the world say you're reincarnated. The fullness of Jesus. And Jesus never did say he was God. Jesus never said that. Matter of fact, who was it, Peter or Paul? When he asked Jesus, I think Jesus asked him. Paul asked him, "Are you God?" Or he asked him, "Why do you say that?" He never said that I am. He just asked, in return, asked him a question. And then when he's on the cross, it's supposed to have been reported that Jesus spoke to his Father and asked him why he forsaken him. So if he's talking to the Father, it meant that he couldn't be. The whole thing, remember this, like I said in the beginning, you're in a dark room. So the people that is telling you about this is the man of sin that's one that's telling you about this. The Jews, they wanted a reason to stone this man, like they did Elijah. They knew he wasn't God. If he was God, they could have never done it. God would never be present and allow somebody to do wrong. You just don't do that. That's why the God said in the last days, I will come. Now that I'm here, and you're going to persecute me, stone me, and all. But this bad, you pick up the stone, that's the last thing you ever pick up. However, the man that's telling the story, is to make sure that he seals your darkness, because he knows your heart towards your own family. So he puts it in a way when you read it, you say, oh man, at least one time in your life we was great. Or at least there was a goodness in the earth one time. At least God reigned one time. However, there is nothing greater than life now. You are living now. You are greater than Jesus in the past now because you live it. Whatever Jesus did, it did. Did means past. You are living, so that means you can do something that you haven't done yet because you're living, so it makes you greater. However, so Jesus, in his fullness, was Elijah. Elijah, that's why at the end, in the Bible, in the end of the Old Testament, in the book of Malachi, it reads, just before the great and dreadful day I will raise for you, or send to you Elijah. In other words, it's the same entity as it was Jesus. He came back again, but it was Elijah. And this is why it said he suffered for 40 days. It was 40 years that Elijah suffered us as a people. He didn't expect white people to accept him because their nature don't accept it. We'd already asked white people, if we create this man or make him out of black mud, will you accept him in bliss? He said, no, you made me a ruler. I'm a man of fire. I can't submit to him. So why would God go ask him again? So he raised up Elijah. In other words, the coming of Jesus, not Christ, but just Jesus. And Jesus came with a message like he did before. And he came with a message this time to you. The first time he came to the Jews to let him know, I know it's not your time ain't up, but just to warn you, if you want to extend your time, man, do this. And the man wanted to do everything to him, so Jesus said, well, look, you ain't of my Father. You ain't of my Father. If you weren't, you would love me. You are of your father, the devil. So we talking about two fathers here. Is that right? Now, if you were of my Father, he didn't say if you were of me and I'm the Father. If you were of my Father, you would love me. But you are of your father. He was a murderer and a liar from the beginning, and this you love to do. You see? So the fullness of Jesus, the fullness of him, was Elijah Muhammad. And Elijah was raised up to send to you, black man, to get you ready to see me, the Son. In the book where it talks about when the Lord is telling Moses, telling Moses, look, take Joshua, the son, has got the nation, but he needs to be counseled. And when you speak of the Son of Man, it's speaking about me, he said, wonderful counselor, mighty prince. And if they thought so much of me in the live living day as to prepare me to take me, or what white folks say, unidentified flying objects. It ain't unidentified. He wants to make you think it's unidentified. He knows exactly what it is. He don't try to attack them. Their greatest purpose is to serve us. When we constructed the mother plane, we dug a mile deep into the earth and constructed it into us. We didn't do it on top of it. We did it right. We carved it right out of the earth. And we made for itself its own way to produce its own energy. And then we put all these garages in it, and we started making the little ships to go in it, because we knew what we wanted to do. Not the little ships to destroy America, but we need transportation to go to every galaxy in our universe. We're not to be a prisoner at no time in what we have created. So we created our own and made our own transportation to go here and there, to and fro, at will. And when it gets to the point when it gets time to do away with this man and his mechanical machine, we come with the machine that we made and say, take a look, man. That's your last look. That's what it's for. And I'm the man to commission them. And they used to come and tell Elijah, the fullness of Jesus, hurry up, man.
Hurry up, Elijah. We can't wait to get ready to go. We want to get busy. Elijah said, well, I'm going as fast as I can. However, there's one coming behind me, after me, to be God himself. He will instruct you what to do, when to do it, how to do it. So that's what happened.
In Isaiah, it was speaking of one that would cry in the wilderness, and then Ezekiel, it did echo that, and one would come in Elijah. Now, John the Baptist came, and he was asked, was he Elijah? And he said no. But then Jesus said he did come in the form of Elijah in John. So to validate Jesus as being one with, as I heard Farrakhan say, one and the same as Elijah, actually Jesus articulated that John the Baptist came in the form of Elijah, and he was an Elijah. So how do we then come to the chasm of leap that Jesus and Elijah are one?
Well, this is still in the absence of the knowledge. The Father hasn't came to take you further, so you're stumbling around on what you got. Now, for real, this is what's happening. Jesus and Elijah is one and the same. John the Baptist, that really hasn't taken place yet. That is to take place in a foreign land across the water. If you remember, he was baptizing people from John the Baptist saying, the real one, I'm not the real one. The real one is across the water. So now when we get ready to leave him, I get ready to take you on the mother plane out of here. I got to have a place to take you. When I get you there, John the Baptist has got to get these people ready for your presence. So he ain't come on the scene yet. So that's a man that there may have, if we wanted to say John the Baptist, the closest we could get to is him being here, not in his fullness, would be Malcolm X. However, the fullness of that, and Malcolm means to return, come again, and he's going to come again. He's going to be the John the Baptist over in another country across the water. The country that is getting ready for us to come. They are Muslims. And they have quite a bit of knowledge, but they can't touch us. So when we come over, since we know the real live living God and they're still worshiping a spook God, it would be a terrible thing for us to go and we get into a battle and they lose. So to pay the proper respect to them, we raise one up. Since Malcolm wanted to be just like his teacher, he wanted his spot. So it's okay, we're going to put you with a hard-headed people. And you bruise them around, get them ready for us coming. So that ain't happened yet. But the fraction of it that happened would be Malcolm. And Master Farrakhan and everybody else, if they knew, you wouldn't be asking questions. Right. It would be the duty of a live, living man that has the knowledge to impart the knowledge at this time because it's time. It wouldn't be no question. And if you stick with me, if you study the tapes, there is no questions you got other than when it gets to the point of who you are. When were you here last? What did you do? What will you do? When will this be over? That's the only question you have. But as far as me being God, you being God, the Caucasian being the enemy, Satan being the enemy within, you will know all that. You have no questions. Is this going to go? Is this the pit of hell? You don't have no questions. And like Jesus, Paul, Peter, you won't have no, you will know all that. If they knew it, they should have parted. They couldn't tell you because they didn't know it was left for me. The one that the message said, I will raise from me in this part of our planet a powerful son of truth. And he will lead you into everything that is right. He will teach you that the scientists of the East could not teach you. There will be no need to get in touch with them. So I'm here and I'm teaching, and you're not going to hear no other person saying or teaching what I'm teaching. I can do it because it's true. I am the Christ, and I don't fear no power coming against me where I'm going to lose.
Yes, sir.
You have some very good questions, brother.
Can I ask this
yes,
one?
Sir.
Yes, one, and then I'm going to leave.
Yes, sir.
In Matthew, Jesus said that there will be many false prophets that will come in his name.
Right.
Is that again something that actually hasn't happened yet?
Oh, no, sir.
That actually took place?
It's not took, it's taking.
So you're saying you're Jesus and no other person will come in your name and they would be false prophets that they did?
Oh, yes, sir. There are already now at least 2 or 3 people that are saying that they are me. However, they're saying it, and one has got a nation. Not Mr. Farrakhan. One's got a nation going. They're saying that they're the Son of Man. However, how you tell, they got to impart with you something that makes you free in your thinking. Something that is not going to keep you tied to them. The Christ has got to do something that frees you. Not make you follow him, not make you depend upon him. Whatever makes me independent, I got to share it with you so it'll make you independent too. That's how you tell which one is true, which one is false. Now, those ones that are here and the ones that shall come, they will not be able to express what I'm expressing to you. They may come out and talk to you about some type of dome that they're losing on some type of planet. They come in here to get some type of gold and all. It don't relate to our plight here. It don't make sense to what we are doing. Even if it makes sense the way they're expressing it, it don't have anything to do with us. So you will see that this may be a wise man, but he's not the man. I'm a man to give you understanding of all things. That's why my birth name is Royall. With the all, A-L-L. All things. Not some, not most. And you won't know who's false until you come into me. Because you got some brothers out here can quote some wisdom out and you're swapping them. Man, this healthy. Until they bring it to me and I say, oh, that means so and so and so. And they say, man, what? That's that simple? Yes. Now, do you want to hear something heavy? Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, that's enough, Father. I mean, I got to go study this. You know, nobody going to tell you the way that I told you about being family. From the spiritual sense. About why the original law even left. Most people think he left not too long ago because he was sinning here. He didn't leave because he was sinning. He left because there was an irritant in his ear. He wanted to see what it is, so he voluntarily left. It has been gone for trillions of years, not no 2,000 or 3,000. So now it has worked itself out to its very conclusion. And in the conclusion, this new self-created Allah, myself, I created myself, not the flesh, but I created the entity that's in this flesh. This is self-created in the light. Because of the Son of what the original Allah did, because of what he did, brought about another possibility for another creator. So I created myself in the light and first came to him and told him, look, I see your problem. And according to your knowledge and my knowledge, yours is like a light, like a candle to mine. I'm going to solve your problem if you let me. So he says, he tested me. The first thing he wanted to know, how did I get in his house? And he didn't know it. So that let him know right away. I had more knowledge than him. But he still wasn't going to turn it over. So he tested me. Then when he found out I'm genuine, he said, by all means, solve this problem. Then I told him I was going to solve it. Then he said, okay, you got it. Now, what I'm going to do in this last 400 years, I'm going to turn over everything to you. And during the course of me turning it over, our people or my people is really going to catch hell. They're going to catch hell. This devil going to try to kill them. And that's why after the 400 years, when the God did come to Moses, Elijah Muhammad, and Elijah asked him, well, why you just not coming, man? Didn't you see what this white man was doing to us? And the guy said, I heard by the reason of their taskmaster. However, if I had interfered with what was happening to you all, I could not have received the creation from the Creator. So I had to ignore your cry for 400 years to receive all of this universe. However, what is 400 years of misery for peace and happiness, contentment of heart, and creation forever? I'm here now, and I'm going to do away with your man. So that's what's happening.
Does Louis Farrakhan validate you as deity?
No, sir. He is the Adonai. He hasn't yet. He know it, but he hasn't yet. Because his thing is physical. He wants wealth. He wants to clap in the admiration of the people. So since I came looking like he has read that I would come, as a thief in the night, as a man looked as though slain from the foundation of the earth, I'm not as handsome as him. I haven't, in his mind, done what he has done, suffered as he has suffered. So why should I take what he's got? That's the way he thought. However, his proper thinking should have been, this fits scripture. I know he's not coming to take nothing. he's coming to give. But since he rejected it, and then pretend, you got to know that he respects me. If he didn't, he would talk about me. You hear him talking about everybody else, but he will not mention me. He will not mention it. Because he knows, just like it's written about in 1 Kings, Adonijah was feared because of Solomon. What did I do to bring him fear? I took everybody from him. I took everything he was doing, I brought him down to nothing. I gave him a virus that the doctors couldn't name. I stripped him of his weight within 20 pounds in a few days. They couldn't do nothing for him, so he knows that he knows I am he. So when it gets down to the nitty-gritty, like it reads, every man that was with him got up and went his own way. Then he ran and caught hold to the altar, tried to fool me, make you think he was a righteous, good, God-fearing man. I know he got some good in him. So after he found out that didn't work, then he sends word to me. Solomon, I'll give it up if you don't take my life with the sword. So it won't be long. He'll be doing just that. Thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. It's not too much for you, is it? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir, Father. In 1996, I think it was the Jacksonville tape. In July, you had shared, and I'm not quoting you, however, you shared that your skin tone was perfect for the light of truth that is held within you, and you couldn't be dark. And I was wondering if you could elaborate on that.
Yes, ma'am. I'm light. I'm energy. It's not so much. This fleshly body isn't the great part about this. What's inside of it? I am energy. I am light. I don't have any association with darkness. So therefore, as I grow and bring you out, I will become lighter. After a while, I'm almost going to look white. But it's going to be the reflection of what's in me coming out. You're going to know it's not white. You're going to know it's bright. That's why they say the light of me or of him led them into the hereafter. In other words, that's going to stand out more so than the actual tone of my skin at this time. I will become lighter and lighter. My eyes are going to turn. I'm almost going to be blue-eyed before it's over with. So that's because the real me has got to shine from the inside out. It's going to change the complexion. I came first like I came into black mud. The inner workings of what black people do is like filthy. You know, you see the brother walking out. I got out of the car yesterday, put some gas in the car. I was driving with the secretary. We got to go put the gas in. The brother in front of us got out of his pickup. We went to go put gas in the car. Right over here on Western Avenue. His pants was below his buttocks. And there's some Mexicans were looking at him laughing. But they was laughing out. He didn't see them laughing because they was behind him. He's protesting. He's like saying so many words, God, where are you? I ain't with this white man. I don't give a damn about him. So I'm just going to be a fool. But man, so when I first come into stuff like that, I come maybe a little darker. However, as I bring about a change, everything changes. Got it?
Yes, sir. The reason why I asked that question was because there's an individual that shared from listening to that very tape that light-skinned people hold the truth better than dark-skinned people.
Oh, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. Whoever that is, he or she, tell them that is not so. Just keep breathing. I'm not even going to expound on that. You know, it's already mathematically, Mr. Bobo or the enemy has already went and looked into us, whatnot, and he found something called melanin. And only black people have it to the degree which makes it capable for us to obtain knowledge straight from the atmosphere. So the lighter you are, the more the sun repels you. The darker you are, the more in harmony you are with it. So tell them they're absolutely wrong. He ain't done no studying at all. Don't even talk to him if he continues that up.
My second and last question is, I heard recently from an older tape that you have, someone shared with me that Miss White is going to drink from the Mississippi River, and and if the water is pure, then all sisters will live, and if it's not pure, all the sisters will perish.
Oh, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I'm not going to say it's Miss White that's going to do it, my wife. It's highly possible that she will. However, which one or whoever does it, they're doing it to see if each other is pure. If both is pure, fine. If one is not pure, the other one will tell on the other. If the water is pure and the sister is not, the water is going to tell on the sister. And if the sister is pure and the water is not, then the sister is going to tell on the water. Whichever one is not pure, then it lets us know we got something to do. It's not to destroy you. It's to make you pure. In other words, this is what you heard about. There ain't going to be no more sisters. This is like if the sisters refuse to accept this. They keep keeping their brothers down. Won't let them get up. Keeping them away from the truth. Making them think that white folks is their God and they're with them. They are going to be in such a way when if my son puts thumb down on them, that's it for them. It won't be no more. But however, if he does that, he's got to make another woman for us. So tell them, listen at the tape again. You know, they're getting things mixed up. All right?
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. You can have a seat right there, sister, if you want. Then the next person. Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to say it's an honor to be around our black brothers and sisters, wherever it might be.
Yes, sir.
And I am very motivated to think on many of the things that you have said. However, I do have a few questions.
Yes, sir.
One of them, with the recent statistics that there are about 38 million black people in America, my thought is, where would 38 million people fit in America if we were to have our own land? Kansas City certainly is a good starting point, and it is almost in the middle of the country, but it's a good starting point. But where would all the 38 million people be if they were all to follow God?
Right. Well, first place, that's not going to happen. You know?
Okay. Okay.
However, we cannot make plans that it's not going to happen. We have to make plans as though it is going to happen. So this is what we do. We don't say, well, we got Kansas City, Kansas, and that's where we're going to be at. No. That's the place for us to get started showing what we do and how we do it. And we are to be an attraction to the rest of the people. Now, when it gets to the point where, you know, one thing white folks will do, when they get to a point where when they know emphatically that they lost, they change just like that. I'm your best friend. I mean, man, I really didn't know what I was doing. You know, do you want this 1,000 acres over here? You want this state? You can have this state. You know, they're going to give up. They're going to give this whole country up. They don't own none of it. They're going to give it up. And we're not going to threaten them with a gun. They're not going to be able to. You see what they're doing overseas?
Yes.
They're not going in there bombing the man. They're taking out his oil refineries, his food processing plants, his railroads, his schools or his hospitals or his bridges. You know, they ain't going and just killing him. They're making where the man he can't move. I don't care where he's back in the caveman day again. You see, so when he gets this way, we don't have to drop no bomb. If I call and tell you, you know, whatever your name is, if I call and tell you, if I just speak to you in your ear while you're laying in the bed, get up, man. Make it over to Phoenix. I'm getting ready to take California out. You jump up, man, make it. You heard it, but they didn't hear it. Because I can speak to you in your ear. They jumping them down business as usual. You got some people boarding the train. Some people getting in the car. Some people getting on the train. And then the earth starts to tremble. You looking back because you don't make it. You see? Now, his brother that don't live in California knows from the prophecy because they study it every day in Washington, D.C. in the think tank. They study it. When they see it go, they say, oh, Christ Almighty, it's here. And don't think they don't know it's me. It ain't like they going around, you know, business as usual, and they ain't studied nothing I said, and they just say, well, he just running his mouth, you don't know what he's talking. They know exactly who I am. They know I'm here speaking today. Might be sitting out there, or might be listening. It might have one of y'all in here to take the tape back. But I don't care. I'm like the son. If he come, I tell him. You see? So they know, then they'll be calling me, just like Lewis. What can we do? Would you spare us? You all seen the picture of Brother John? When the old man was asking Sidney Poitier, isn't there something that we can do? He was saying, well, afraid not. Well, what about the love of the children? What have they done? They haven't done anything. The children can't be saved? I'm not going to do things in such a way where they're doubting. You or nobody else is going to doubt that who's doing this. When the earth off, they know they didn't do it. I'm keeping my promise. If I sink Manhattan, they know they didn't do it. This is a biblical proportion. So now I got to look for the author of this. I don't have to look because I already know who he is. So let me call him up. Let me send for him. I may, before year 2000, I may be invited by William Jefferson Clinton to speak to him. Just as the scientists came to get me, it don't mean that's the last thing they're doing. We know how to make you surrender. Very easily. So if there is going to be, if it would be a miracle by some, that all 38 million, all 50 million, whatever, decided, yes, we accept it, we got to have a place for you. Sure. So this is what's going to happen. However, I already know what land's going to stand, what land they're going to poison. I already know what's going to happen. I don't go out and tell what. The book reads it'll be 144,000. However, that's the ones that's assured to go to heaven. That was a number that no man could count on the other side of the mountain that I dealt with and made them pure. No, couldn't count the number, so they say. So if it's 38 million, I got to have a place. And the earth is 196,940,000 square miles. And a few million black people. If I clear the earth off and give each one of you home, you would have homes so far apart, you would have to have planes to go visit each other.
Well, yes, sir.
You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
Yes, sir.
But that really comes to my next question. God populated the world, the universe for that matter. And with all the billions of people that are here, my question would be, wouldn't God want to take care of all of his people, not just some of his people?
Well, the problem is this. And when you say all of his people, yes, he wants to. However, this is where the problem is. You listening? Yes. You 5%ers, you listening? Yes. Oh, so I got somebody here. The problem is the matter in which your entity is in. This flesh that you have is constantly giving you a second thought. Every time I send to you the right thought, you got another thought counteracting that thought. So the ones of us that would rather listen to the second thought that is produced and magnified by the second man, meaning the white man, he's the second man from us, however, he's the second man that has power. The black man made everything, created everything, he made him. The man of power, the next man, forget about the brown man and the yellow man, the next man is the white man. So the second man has put a system in motion to speak to that second thought. So when the original man, this matter that you have, like it reads in the Quran, when Satan whispers into your ear, the sly, slinking devil whispers in firm resolution, this is your matter speaking back to you. Man, you ain't got to do that. The heck with him. I'm a 5%. I got much knowledge than him. Every man is Allah. And here's a white man got everything around you that bear witness to what you're thinking. So you accept it. So when it gets down to the day, you don't go. I would like for you to have been. But since you don't accept me, I cannot accept you. For the express purpose of me being new and bringing in new. If I accept you and bring you with me, then I have defeated my very existence. I have brought with me what I swore to get rid of.
You made a statement earlier that the original God lost his patience. The question I have, if God holds all power, well then wouldn't he hold the power to keep his patience?
Well, this is what I also said this, that he turned it over to me. He on vacation. Didn't I say for 400 years while they were stabbing you, lynching you, raping you, castrating you, killing you, that we couldn't even answer your cry. We couldn't answer it because he was giving all the power over to me. And in the Holy Quran it reads that we gave Solomon a little knowledge of everything. He don't have to answer to nothing or nobody. nothing or nobody, not even the original Allah. He don't have to answer to him. So until I correct the problem, the original Allah is all sunning himself. So he don't have to exercise patience. He's invested his patience in the perfect one. So he know I'm going to be successful. And when I finish, I say, okay, you can come home now. Thank you, Mr. Solomon. If that answers the question.
Okay.
In other words, if I were not this, he would have destroyed, which he has done many times. The acting God, not him. He had permitted this to take place. He's destroyed many civilizations, time and time again, because he was fed up with it. He wasn't going no further with it. So he got to the end of his space. Now, they was always like within that 6,000 years. Now, since it's coming back to be our time for us, a black man, to come back into power, he don't have the patience for you to ignore him. He's your father. He's your father. Why would you come? He come and he's telling you and he wants to love you, and you telling him, I don't want to love you. I love my enemy. Get away from me, God. So he said, well, I can't take that rejection. You go. And I'm telling you now, before you go, you're going to get the same way, and that's why you ain't going to say nobody but that stuck with the messenger.
I'm sorry, sir.
In other words, that's the reason why. It's not that he don't have power and all power. He does. However, he's invested it in the Lamb. In Revelation, it reads that the angels, the 24 and 4, or the 20 and the 4 elders, and all of the ones that held the vials of the prayers from the saints before, made a new song to the Lamb. They didn't say Lord. They made a new song to this Lamb. And when it got time for somebody to come and take the book, they said, who's worthy to take the book? And he who sits on the throne. And the one that sat on the throne was he that was of the ancient days. He was the original God. But he had a book in his hand. Why would he have a book in his hand and want somebody to come take it? And he don't know who's worthy to come take it. He asked the question, who's worthy to come take this book? What he's saying is, I have made an agreement with another God that's greater than me. And for me not to tell you who it is, I'm going to bring about a situation to call him forth, and you're going to have to bear witness that this man is greater than me. So then this way, you will make a song to he and me. I'm not just telling you, I'm bringing about a situation that will bear witness that I know what I'm doing. Hey, who's worthy to take this book? Now the angels, nobody moved. They sat in their seat. They started crying because God was being denied. They said, I don't want God to be denied. Where is he? I can't do it. Then they looked and seen this man look like a lamb coming up, like he was slain from the foundation of the earth, walked up and took the book. And then the 20 and the 4 elders said, worthy is he to take the book and break the seals thereof. You see, in a sense, you're the book. In a sense. I got to break your seals like I told Daniel. Don't ask me no more questions, Daniel. Go thy way. And at the end of time, I'll come and break the seals. But then, till then, go to Florida and enjoy yourself.
Finally, I'd like to say that, we as black people have been the most enduring people. And we certainly have shown love through the most adverse conditions. Right. And we continue to do that. That's right. Therefore, my blackness is something I'm extremely proud of. I would like to feel that whoever I follow, that I am following the man. For us to really relate to it from a physical standpoint and spiritual, I want to make sure I'm following the man. Now, it was interesting, just for clarification, it was interesting, the young lady that spoke so eloquently earlier, she made mention that you could speak things into existence, and that part of it has already taken place with whatever has developed in Kansas City. I know that because we live in the world, finances are just something that we have to be involved in. Now my question is, how would the mission that you want to complete be successful without an enormous amount of finances being available? Well, because the only other thing I want to say is that the world as we know it is deteriorating very quickly, and here in America there is a lot of things that are going on to affect our environment that we don't even know about. most of the soil is really not good to even plant anything in.
That's right.
So I'm wondering, how do we exist for whatever time left that we have on this earth? How will we exist without finances?
Well, as far as the finance thing is concerned, we always do everything well in advance. There are those that are here in this country that are Caucasians. They are styled as Muslim sons, and we have caused them to be very wealthy. And we have gave them some knowledge that will let them know when it is time for them to be with this Solomon. If you recall the way the story or the record of Solomon is told, that everybody helped him. Even the enemy helped Solomon. Now, this meaning that the Muslim sons that we cause to be wealthy, and the biggest wealth that they have is a knowledge of the time and who is dictating the time. They have that knowledge. When we reach a certain degree, it's like they are our second uncle that is coming in to make sure that we are successful. So we don't have to do nothing to make money. The money is already waiting. We got to do something that is worthy of their attention for us, for them to give it to us. So we got to get busy making a presentation. Now we're taking a few bucks here and there from different people and making a great showing. It's to such magnitude, the people that do have money know what it takes to make money. And they look at us and say, how are you doing this? I know this takes a lot of money, millions of dollars. Nope. The one that is doing it is God himself. We'll take $1,000 and do what you do with 100,000. And we don't pay nobody that's with us. And we get it done. And this is inviting to them. This is something else for them to put their mind into doing and get it off that stale thing of what they've been going for 6,000 years in this money thing. They have all, the money has served its purpose in the way of making them great in their negative. We brought about money for them as a use to go with their nature, to make them come and bring it to a fullness. We didn't want them to just be negative. We wanted negative to show itself in its royal grandeur. So we brought about a system for them to use to make sure that they develop just like that. And we put it in the Bible. The root of all evil is money, or the love of it. It's the root of all evil. So they love it. We made them love it. So that made them master tricks, master evil, master deception. So it made them bring out their nature to its fullest degree. And now it has reached it. So now we don't need money. I step up and say, hey, forget money. This is what we're doing. We take money because we're getting the things from you in the beginning. And we're looking so good with it. Now you are bringing money to us and we're using it and you're glad. So we don't have to worry about it. We're asking you all now to give, to help get this showing. I know I asked one of the scientists who was talking to me, I said, to do the same thing you did. I said, to do that, we're going to need a lot of money. He said, don't worry about that. I said, what do you mean? He said, didn't you ask for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding? I said, yes. He said, and what did God promise you? I said, oh yeah, he did promise me money. So much that before me nobody had it. And so much that after me they won't have. I said, oh, I don't have to ask you no more.
Now, you know, sir, the final comment is that we are very much in a spiritual war as well as a military war, and there's very little question about that. I'm concerned that whenever the mission is completed, what protection would we have as people that we wouldn't suffer the military forces being turned against us?
Well, good. You asking a good question. It's like the best I've had since I've been coming here. I asked the same thing.
Okay.
You know, if we're not going to have no guns, no knives, no military force, and, you know, just have our hands, how are we going to stop the man if he so desires to turn against us, change his mind, and want to destroy us?
Yes.
The first answer they gave me, said, well, you God. I thought to myself, what kind of answer is that? You know, because I'm asking you. So they said, well, you'll see. However, this man loves war. What we do, we give him what he loves. In another place. And when he's busy in that other place, doing what he loves to do, we grow. We learn how to say, be, and it is. Rain, and it rains. Hail, and it hails. We learn how to say, say, well, oh, we better take the road out because the Bobos get ready to come down here. Otherwise, we read his thoughts before they even get to him. When he decided, look, let's go here in this project because we know why we made the projects, so we can have all these nickels in one place.
Absolutely. So
when it gets to the end of time, we're going to go and kill them. We're going to have their blood running high as the horse's bridle. You know, that's in the Bible.
Yes, sir, it is.
And it ain't talking about white folks' blood. They talking about you, black man. When they come back out of this last war, they're going to know that it's the end of them, period, and they're going straight to the projects. I'm not going to stop. We're going to have our areas. They're not going to come to ours. But the man that they went over and fought and lost, he's going to come over here. He's going to be sitting home and say, you know what? That war wasn't bad at all. We beat them. Let's go and take their land. They're going to come over here. Mark my word. They're going to come over here. And notice, no foreign country or power has ever done anything to this country. Never. That's because you here, black man. Now, since I'm here, and when we finally make the final total, the final tally as who's going to be with me and who's not, then it's going to be the end of the war where they're warring somewhere else. They're coming home. Matter of fact, the war is going to be so intense that he's going to go to the prisons and go make an offer. He'll say, everybody, I don't care what you're in prison for. If you'll go overseas and fight with this war, if you make it back, you're free. That's what he's going to do. I'm telling you, mark my word. Get the tape so you can say, I can't go back and say, I didn't say that. You have it on tape. Because it's going to happen. And when they come back after they've lost, they're going straight to the neighborhood, black neighborhoods. And they're going to do a number on you. Then you're going to come running, oh, Father, I know you're not. But he's not going to come to our neighborhood. The man that whipped his hind parts is going to come. And when he gets to the neighborhood, because he don't believe in God no how, when he gets to one of our neighborhoods, he thinks he's going to break on in. I'm going to walk on out, hands in the pocket, say, what is it you want? Or did you come to get whipped? That's the only thing you could come for. And when I finish with him, he's going to know that there's a God. And if you notice the language, I didn't say we. I love you, black man, especially the one that's with me. I love you. I'm not going to have you in battling. If you want to watch me, I want to see my dad work. Okay, son, stand right there. I am going to do this. So there will never be any doubt ever again at no place on or in this planet or in the universe who is who. We're going to put an end to that. We're going to put a period to it. That's what's going to happen. Fear not if you're with me, the same as what they told me when they was telling Solomon, yes, I commission you to build my house and fear not. When they come against you, have no fear. Feel great courage. I got it all. Yes, sir. When I ride through the storm, I said, look, I'm coming through. Make a path for me. It lightens up and let me through. And I look behind me, it be turned up. Because it respects me.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Don't you want a God like that? The sweet part about it is this. I'm going to make you just like it. I'm not keeping it just for me. Because there are many, once you get this type of power and there is no end to it, you constantly magnify and you constantly grow. You're going to get tired of this planet. You're going to say, look, I want to go make one of my own. Well, the only thing will stop you if you don't have the knowledge. You got the knowledge, go. I want a universe of my own, go. Never no ending. Yes, ma'am.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Wa alaikum salam.
You had spoke earlier about another gentleman calling himself Solomon. I was speaking to another brother, and they shared with me that there is another person saying they are God, and they have pyramids on everything. Is that the...
Well, this is a brother that claims to be the Son of Man or the God. I think he goes by the name of Dr. York, the Anzar community, and he got several different names. And he's supposed to be the one that is to come up with a new language, save our people, take us off to another planet, and so forth and whatnot. Pay no attention to that.
Yes, sir.
That's not what is written. That is not what is written. That is not prophesied. It's prophesied that there would be people like him. However, the one that is actually to be in our favor for us, that is not prophesied. So yes, he's in Georgia, someplace now, not too far from Atlanta, Georgia. He's got his pyramids, he's got the brothers walking around with his stink heads on them and so forth, whatnot. This is something that's in his mind. Since he wants to ignore the messenger and Master Prophet Muhammad, he talked about Master Prophet Muhammad like a dog. So hey, he's gonna have to submit to if he want to be saved. If he claims he's from another galaxy. I dispute him about that because we told everybody else not to come here until I finish. So if he came, he disobeyed me, so I got a right to punish him. Now, if he's lying and he had a dream, well, then I don't pay him no mind. Okay?
Am I black?
Are you?
Am I?
Or what is your father?
Mexican Indian?
Mexican Indian?
Yes, sir.
Well, let's say this way. You have enough black in you that you can come with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And here's another thing, too. You don't have to be black to be with me. I'm not mad with white folks. I ain't mad with them. I think they did a tremendous job. They did their job. I can't say, well, look, man, you messed up. You didn't do. If anything, I would say, look, you did it so well. Back up. I mean, now it's overkill. For real. He did his job. So if he decides, well, look, I'm going to be with you, Solomon. I know he has a limitation. But I'm not going to stop him from being with me. Let him go as far as he can go. And if he does what he's supposed to do, I will allow him to be in the city that I prepared for him. And he can live 1,000 years. After that, he will perish, go away. It won't be no pain to him. He just won't exist anymore. And it won't be nothing missing as though white folks have a particular identity. They don't. The black man has a specific identity or entity. You have completed ideas that make up your entity. White folks don't have no completed ideas. They have a bunch of ideas, but none of them is completed. That's why they can search and look and peep and find and do all these different things and never come to no real definite as how they want to use something. They have one man sitting here looking and bearing witness that what his brother found is right. And he'll go all out of his way to try to find something to counteract it. Now, if he had the completeness of his idea, if his entity was completed ideas, he would see it ain't no need to try to perfect something that's perfect. You see? So it lets you know, yes, he's a live, living, walking person around, looking at you and you look like him, you're just a different color. You got a different hue. However, his purpose of how he do things is not complete. That's why one day he love you, next day he want to kill you. You see, regardless of, like the brother said, regardless of what has happened to us, we are loving people. We want to love. The police come and shoot your brother or your son in the head 15, 20 times. And then they'll come stick the camera in the mother's face. Well, what do you think about what the officer did? Well, I've forgiven him. You see, we are consistent because we know what the art and the attribute of forgiveness does. We don't try to make it perfect or try to break it once we know what it is. So against that tragedy that took place, they still come out. What they're saying is, I'm not the Allah, I'm not God, so I can't judge, so I got to forgive it. However, in this day and time, it would be best to say, well, I'm leaving it in the hands of God. Should have said, I forgive. But that's your nature speaking in ignorance. You see? White folks ain't like that. They'll tell you right away, I love you, but this is business. So I got to cut your throat. Yes, ma'am.
What is the meaning of the birth of the white buffalo?
The birth of the white buffalo?
Yes, sir.
Well, it's an Indian tradition. We also gave the Indians certain signs to let them know when the end of time would be so that they could make their proper journey back home. They are now the punishment or the chastisement have now been lifted off them. So we gave them certain prophets in their own native tongue or their own, I'll say nature at the time, to let them know when it is time for them to make the move towards the right man. Now, they didn't know who the right man was. They didn't know if he was a black man. They just knew the black man is a powerful man. They still didn't accept him as being Jesus or God or the God. And we gave them certain medicine doctors and certain visions and certain things to let them know when these things occur, you will see a certain man on the scene and you are to be with him. Your curse is up. You will know that the time has come. And when the white buffalo comes about, which is very, very seldom happens, you will know that now is the time that the Indians will be free. All that burden they've been under, it's going to be lifted, they'll be free. And after a certain period of time, it's going to melt out, it won't be no more Indians. But before that happens, the Indians going to be very happy. And I think not too long ago, the white buffalo just showed himself. Yes, sir. So it's just in accord with the time, let them know God is here. Get it together, man. The punishment is up. So if you want to accept it, come on. And they've already embraced us already.
I'd like to know the meaning of my name.
Uh-oh. What is it?
Christina.
Christina?
Yes.
It means a little clarity. Close to Christ. Okay? A little clarity. Maybe you think you're not white or black, so you only understand a little. But you're still close to Christ. So stick with it.
One more. I had a dream a couple of days ago.
Is it a long
Actually,
one?
a nightmare.
Is it a long one?
No, so I'll make it really quick. I was basically being chased down by family of mine, friends or associates that I consider friends. Or
right.
Yes. And they were trying to kill me. I would like to know the meaning of the dream.
Well, this has occurred in many people's dreams, and especially in California. Matter of fact, when the ones that were coming from the East Coast over here, I told them, when you get here, matter of fact, on the way, when you have a dream, don't pay no attention to none of them dreams you're going to have. Because Satan, this is the motherland. This is the motherland for Satan. You know, we brought him back, we brought him in existence, not back, we brought him into existence as a man now. Since Christ has appeared as a man, we had to bring Satan as a man, not just as a spirit or a force. And this is the land that nurtured him when he was a little boy in his being. So the land naturally is evil. And it really speaks to the second self for you. Anytime, regardless of where you are, if you're on the mother plane, and you make your mind up definite that you're going to be with me, Satan comes in. He said, oh, you are? Well, we'll see about that. I'm going to bring something on you that you didn't even think existed. Now, if you make it through that, then you can be with it. But you got to go through this first. All your family that you talk with, all your friends that you thought were friends, now, like you said, they're trying to kill you. You know, you'll be riding down the street, parked at the parking light, somebody running behind you, bam, running to the back of you. You know, man, it looked like the car came out of hell from no place. All kinds of things that happen that try to make you rethink. Don't go there. Stay where you are. However, this is what I tell people to do, especially relatives and whatnot. When they go and start asking you things like that or telling you how crazy you are, and if you know what I'm doing, whatnot, ask them. Well, if I'm going with Solomon full time and I don't have to pay my rent, are you going to pay it? If I don't have to buy my food, are you going to buy my food? If I don't have no utility bills, are you going to buy my utility, pay for my utility bills? If I need transportation, I get it free. Or are you going to provide transportation for me? Pay the insurance, pay the car notes, pay for all this high gas, are you going to do that? If they say, well, no, don't nobody do that, Solomon does. So now, if you can't offer me what he's offering me, get out of my face.
Yes, sir.
You see?
Yes, sir.
Get behind me, Satan. So that's who it is.
Thank you. I love you. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. I don't intend to hold you all till you get wore out. Well, I got a couple more people to take those questions and I'll let you go home. However, have we got the duplicator here? All right. I hope we already duplicated. All right. Get a tape. And before you leave, I'm going to have the secretary to come up and ask for you to give charity. There are those that came from Maryland, from the East Coast here. I wanted them to come so they could see the landscape, travel over and see the difference in where they are and where you are. I don't expect you all to, if you got money, fine. If you want to give it, fine. If you don't have it, I'm not expecting it. There's something happened with our coach when it got right here. right here, almost right here to the door, blue head gasket. So now we got to pay a man to come tow it to the truck place to have it repaired. They charge $70 an hour to work on it. That's not including parts. Now, I don't know what kind of money the ones had with them as far as staying in the hotel. If we have to stay another night, so we will take care of your expenses. If you cannot pay for it, we'll make sure that you're still comfortable. I'm telling you this now from me, so you don't have to hear from an official that got it all twisted up.
Yes, sir.
All right?
Yes, sir.
Those of you that live here, that do have money, if you got it home in the piggy bank, and you like what you heard, we'll be here long enough for you to run home. If you can't, or tell somebody, we'll carry you home and bring you back and put it in the pot, so we can make it really firm this up. We need to be, and I'm saying this because just for me wanting, especially our elders, to see this landmass, so you can see California don't fit on North America. You can see that you're coming through. You can see it's like another country. For you, it enriches your knowledge. However, the price is whatever was wrong with the bus. Satan found the weakest point and magnified it, just to deny you a pleasure. He wanted to make you take him with you. Whatever you had gladness about, you had to take a little sadness too, a little disappointment with it. But stick with me. It's going to get less and less. There ain't going to be no sadness or disappointment. And I'm going to get the bus running back again. All right? Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Wa alaikum salam.
Last time you was in here, I was visiting you. I gotta say this before I talk. Every time I stand in front of your presence, which ain't been but twice, it reminds me of like Daniel in the Bible when he was having his vision and he fell down like dead. And then the angel, or whatever it was, the being touched him and he lifted him up. But when I was studying the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, my mind was drew to that particular thing because I was preparing then to meet you. Because that's what the messenger job was, right? So I had that spirit, and I said, well, how would it be when I, meet God? And I knew that this fear that we had wouldn't allow us to stand up and face the fearless, as they call it, And so like last time I met you, I made a request for it, and you granted the request, and I wanted to report that I felt the relief, but like you said, Satan didn't lighten up. He didn't lighten up, brother. It's not that anything less from outside, but what happened was that my responses, the first thing I noticed was my responses was different. And something was like missing inside of me, and I couldn't relate it, you know what I'm saying? But something was taken out of me. But I noticed the little pains and suffering, little heartaches that I had, they were there, but they didn't last. Okay? Yes, sir. So as far as I can go on that, and and like I said, Satan is on his job. Okay, now, I would like to know, in relation to something I read concerning, like, okay, when I left the messenger and then Wallace came up, I read in the pamphlets that you have about Wallace, and what I read in there said that he was brought back to see the end of his people. And I asked the brother, I said, well, that would make him Yaqub then. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That's who he is.
Okay. And then you said, and I heard you say about the scientists, they said, well, I'm afraid it's not enough time to get the thorough knowledge of what we, have to go through. Okay, and listening further about the principle that we must become aware of, and not the person, the principle. Could you, another thing, before I get into that, I want to ask this question. What is it that, like a person like Farrakhan and something like that, how could they not see? Like, I don't have no knowledge of mathematical knowledge to say you God, but I feel this. I have enough fear generated in me. You understand? Respect and fear. That's, I ain't got no shame in that. When I first heard your tape, I took odds with the positive-negative thing because I studied positive, negative, electricity and stuff like that. Me and my son was listening to your tape on the way back to Santa Barbara. And I didn't, I couldn't really correlate how a person or a thing could be all positive and no negative when the universe, apparently was constructed on that premise. Right. Could you kind of elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, yes, sir. Being that I am the new, I have the knowledge to know how to make new things, even out of things that already exist. This new heaven and new earth is not going to be. This is not going to be done away with that where it don't exist no more. I'm making this one right here new, and the people that make it with me, I'm going to make the people new. So in order for me to do that, I already had to know how to use this matter to subtract the negative and leave just the positive. And how I did it when the birth, when I was in the womb, I allowed the water or a twin sister be with me. And so I directed whatever portion of negative that would come with me, she took it. So it allowed me to come negative free. So I can do what I'm doing. I really am the Supreme Being. And I have knowledge far greater than the original Supreme Being. So I know how to do what he don't know how to do. If he knew how to do this, there would be no need for me. So I started off first with me. I'm number one. So I did this flesh here first. And I'm going to do yours too.
Okay.
In other words, if I were negative also, it would be just a matter of time before I would acquiesce back to the second voice. It'd be just a matter of time. And Minister Farrakhan, the reason why he don't see it, well, he sees it. The reason why I haven't give up anything, we must remember, here's a man that has felt the power. He felt it from the messenger. He's felt it from the people, the cheers. He's felt it from the accomplishments that he has supposed to have accomplished. So he hasn't seen me in that setting yet. Even if he feels me, he says, well, the man's got knowledge, but he hasn't done what I've done. I don't feel like I'm to give him nothing. So I'm not even going to point people to his direction, because if I do, he's sounding better than me, and he may take the people from me. But I want to make this clear now. Every one of you that is with him or following him, you don't have to fear breaking your allegiance to him. Fear not. If you make your mind up and say, I'm going with Solomon, even if you say, I'm going to back up and watch for a moment, but I'm not going to be with the minister, I'm just going to back up and watch for a moment. And if you are Allah Solomon, come to me and give me comfort in the moment while I'm waiting. Try me and see if I don't do it. I'm not angry with you. I'm not angry with him. What's got to be done has got to be done. I got to make this real. He got to give it up. It's not that he got something that I got to. It's not that he got something that I got to get from him. He's sitting in a seat that don't belong to him, and the world recognizes this seat as the seat of power. So the man that is power has got to come even with his seat or be in his place in the seat of power. He has been given power for a time, and now it's being taken from him, although he's still standing by the seat. The seat is getting so hot he can't sit in it. So he got to give it up. So everybody that's with him, and you think that the FOI is going to rain down out of the sky, beat you up, kick you around, go to your job, threaten you, and take it from you, call on me. And I guarantee you they won't do nothing. They may run right to your face, and when they get to you, kiss you. I'm telling you, try me. I'm saying this to every one of y'all that get this tape. You know one, give it to them. If they don't want to listen to the first part, tell them listen to the last part. I am that I am. And I love fighting for you. And there's nobody in the planet, nobody in the universe has got the right to threaten you, to keep you from me. And when they stand up and do that, all you got to do is cry out. Like you did in your mother's womb. I got to break from this little room. I need space. So don't crowd me up in your ideas. God is a free man. He's making me free. So back up. Oh Allah. In the name of Allah. Royall. Solomon. I'm afraid of the minister and what he will do to me. Will you save me? And don't say no more. And do what you want to do. Yes, sir.
I noticed that after the first tape that I've listened to, you know, I wrote you that long letter. You told me to write you again. I couldn't write it. Right after I listened to your tape, I lost my appetite for reading, for writing. I mean, it became difficult. I mean, that's how I sustained myself when I was after the messenger left and stuff like that. That was my thing, and I found some good things there. But after the first tape, I found out that you killed off my appetite. I just had to tell you that.
Yes, sir.
You did, brother. I mean, it was like, but I read that in my books. They said one day you would come to a point where you would stop reading, go to,
Yes, sir.
And you done that. And one more thing I like to say about the
Just one more now.
Okay. All right. Could you explain the multidimensional being that you are? Like you say, you be talking to us, and then you be talking to the subconscious mind. Like you be like here talking to me now,
yes, sir.
Then you talking to my subconscious mind. Then you doing other things over there.
Yes, sir.
Could you elaborate a little bit on that, and I'll let it rest?
Yes, sir. Right where you were speaking with me about what you were talking about, the reading and writing.
Yeah.
Naturally, that is what I want you to do. Stop. So I was speaking to you then, while you were telling me into your subconscious mind that you are now coming into a point where you can start to create on your own and leave the writing and the reading alone, which you say you've already started doing and you lost the appetite for it. In other words, I'm now blessing you from myself to your subconscious mind. You'll pick it up maybe the day or tomorrow, a week later. That I'm with you for doing it, and what you want to do in something other than that, I will help you be successful in it as long as it's right. But it won't be long where you will be with us. You got some correcting to do. You're a very strong-willed person. Strong will is good when you have the knowledge to know how to direct that will. When you have some knowledge and the people that you're dealing with appears as though they don't have that kind of knowledge, you're very slow in giving your will to that. However, the wise man always submits. I don't care how much will he got. And when he's searching and looking, and if somebody's telling you something wrong, you don't jump up and down about it. You say, okay. And you ease yourself out. You know, until you gain everything that you want, then you can exercise your will. So you got a little ways to go.
Little ways,
just a little ways to go.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Whoever's going to speak to the people after me, you can start coming up here. I don't want them to have no long lapse. We forget so quick. So come up, I'm going to answer this last question, the last conversation with the brother here. If I don't have an opportunity to say it before, I appreciate you all coming. Those of you that are short in money as far as the hotel, we'll be able to let you know in the morning whether it's going to require another night for you to stay. If you have to call your employers, if you have one, to let them know that the time, you have to have an extended amount of time, because I'm not rich enough to send you back on a plane. You do that, and you get word to me and let me know what you need. So I'm putting out so you will know. Don't take advantage of this in a way where you add some of that second man with it. Only take what you need. If you take more than that, you're taking something that belongs to somebody else. All right? Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Father, like Solomon in the Quran, I'm asking that you increase my knowledge and perfect my life. Grant me a kingdom which is unfit for anyone after me.
Yes, sir.
The messenger, one time I read a quote of his. It's about motion is derived from the science of numbers, which distinguishes a phenomenon we call time. What was he saying?
What he's saying is this. In this particular time, after Allah created himself, he used a formula that we call math, mathematical thinking and math, number math, to determine what motion he wanted and what kind of motion he wanted. So just to have motion and don't have math applied to it, you have a disaster. You have something that's out of control. When you once you put it in the formula of math and you got the numbers directing it, you can tell how long it will exist. So that's where you can tell what kind of time is going to be involved. Just like when the 400 years that we said, or we told the devil, look, we're going to tie you up for 1,000 years. We were using the math. And at the end of the 1,000 years, we're going to let you go for a short while. And at the end of that short while, the God's going to come and put you to rest. We had already applied the math to the motion. Now, during the 400 years, the universe is being handed over to me. All of the math and all of this motion. So what the devil was doing on yours during that 400 years, killing us and everything, we didn't answer. We didn't stop it. But the math had already been applied to it, so we could tell how long it was going to take before it even started. Because we had applied the math to it. However, if there's a motion with no math applied to it, and it came from a math man, you got a disaster. You got something like this, like they say, the comets that come in may hit the earth, have a doomsday, but they saying that because they didn't apply the math to this comet that's coming in. If we have applied it, we know what it's going to hit and what it ain't going to hit. So that's what it means. You can determine time, or how long or how short a thing will be
or will go based on the math that you have applied to the motion. That's what he's saying. And there's always an end to wrong until I come about. I'm going to end wrong, but however, there's never no end to right. You're going to keep applying the math and keep applying. You can't find an end to it if you're applying it right. If you apply where you want this motion to come to an end, then you use the math and you bring it to an end, just like we're here. They allowed us to rent these facilities for a certain period of time. They may have calculated it by the hour, so we pay so much an hour. So we know how long, based on those numbers, we have the place. So that's when I can tell you, look, I got to go, because you need a few minutes to talk to somebody else.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. I'll say again, who's here? Who's coming up? The secretary? Brother Alfred? Oh, he's here? Come on in. This is one of our beloved brothers here, assistant secretary. I've been taking so many people from Los Angeles. We had a brother and sister here. They used to send in their reports to headquarters for the week, and it was just a pleasure to look at. So much so we took them. So Brother Alfred here, he's been filling in, making sure we still get the reports. He's doing a pretty good job at it himself. However, he still has other things to do. So I'm going to turn it over to him. I certainly appreciate you coming. And those of you that are here, live here, go tell somebody. Tell them to get the tape. Quit stumbling and fumbling around as though they know somebody else with some power and they're going to be saved at the last minute. Not going to happen.